Hello, and what is going on, everybody? It is Master of the TDS, and I'm joined by my lovely wife,
WritingRaven.
And we're back for another episode of Psycho-Synopsis.
Indeed.
The segment where we summarize all the Psycho for you. Just a scattering of topics throughout the week, all summarized into a neat little package for you to enjoy and consume at your leisure.
You're welcome.
So, we got a bunch of topics to discuss today, but without further ado,
let us bring in our main client, live-action One Piece.
Does it measure up?
Let's see.
The live-action adaptation of One Piece by Netflix has launched and is receiving positive reviews from both critics and fans, with a commendable 82% score from critics and a staggering 95 audience score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Which is actually surprising.
Now, one can argue that Rotten Tomatoes is not the best source of valid scores.
True, but from other reviews that we've seen, a lot of people are saying that it actually is a good live-action adaptation because it sticks to the source material, which is probably mainly because of Oda-sama.
That's what we're going to get into today. So, I've been looking around to see what people have said, just like you have. Mm-hmm. And I've been scouring specifically because I've seen a lot of positive, and that's great. But I've also wanted to see what the criticism was. Because I think it's important that even when there's something positive, if there's no criticism, that's usually a problem.
True.
So there should be some criticism, and I wanted to know what it was, especially from fans of the anime or the manga of One Piece.
And the anime is very good.
Now, from what I see, again, most people are saying it's pretty good. Which is great. We could use more of that.
Indeed we can. One review said it actually breaks the live-action curse.
I'm not so sure about that. We'll have to see. Look, we need a string of live-action anime adaptations. We don't really need that at all. But if they're going to go ahead with live-action adaptations, they need to have a string of them that are good before it breaks the curse.
And I think this one only ended up good because Oda-sama made them redo a bunch of things.
That, and also it's from the same studio that did Cowboy Bebop, and they came out and said one of the things they realized from what happened with Cowboy Bebop is that fans want it to stick to the source material.
Wow, who told them that for years?
But I did want to cover some of the criticism that I've seen from some fans, because some people really like it and some people don't. The main criticism that I've seen about this show is that people feel that it's a bit too cheesy.
Well, I mean, the manga and the anime in general are cheesy. Have you seen the different powers that the devil fruits give them?
Yes, but you have to understand there is some extra cheesiness that is going to be added when you translate something that works in anime or manga to live action.
True, especially the rubber.
That's what I've seen. Some people say it was very cheesy, it was very cringy, and they had to stop watching it, not because it wasn't faithful to the source material, because they just couldn't get into it, which is fair.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be for everybody. But, for the most part, from what I can see and what we've determined, I would probably put this somewhere around a 6 or a 7. That's what people seem to think. Now, is that amazing?
No, but it's still better than a lot of other things that have been put out there.
Yeah, and keep in mind it's Netflix, and Netflix has been known to do silly things like Death Note and other things like that, so we can't just give them a pass just because they adapted this one well.
We do not speak of live-action Death Note. You still haven't even finished Death Note.
I've been getting to it.
Mm-hmm.
But, keep in mind, we're going to have to talk about it because they're planning more live-action Death Note.
Oh, crap.
That's what I'm saying, is like, we can't just give Netflix a get-out-of-jail-free pass because of this. This might be good, but also I think what's important to recognize is something about Netflix that I've noticed, and maybe you'll agree with me.
What is it?
And maybe you guys will agree with me too, listening. Netflix puts out some good shows, and then usually if it does well, they change something in the second season and start bringing in things.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Best example I can think of is Altered Carbon.
I couldn't even get past season 1 of Altered Carbon.
But people raved about it, and then the second season fell off a cliff because they kept bringing in things. It's like when they get you hooked, they go, oh, now you are watching it, I will now change this. So we'll have to see whether this gets renewed, whether it continues. and, what people think about it from the long run. I haven't heard raving reviews about this, but we also haven't heard people angrily condemning it and saying it's terrible. So it seems like it's a mid thing, and that's a good place to start.
Yes. I will add one more thing, that it seems that the live action is covering the main plot points of the first story arc from the anime, which, given how long the anime is and how long it takes to get through each part of a said story arc, that's actually pretty good for people who want to get started on One Piece.
Yeah, again, people had doubts about it. It seems like it's doing okay, and that's, I think, all we can hope for. Could it be better? I'm sure it could.
Yeah.
But you have to keep in mind there is going to be some of the magic lost from the transfer to live action. And if they can even put out something live action anime related that is decent, I think that's a pretty good start.
True. Thus, we move on. And next up, we have Snow Brown.
A new rumor claims that the upcoming live-action Snow White starring Rachel Zegler will see the character depicted as a liberal socialist who leads a revolt against Gal Gadot's evil queen.
Lame!
Now, as you can see, this comes from My Time to Shine Hello, who seems to be getting actually in the news a lot more lately. As you can see what he says here. Honey, do you want to read it?
Sure. The people that save Snow White in this version are called the Bandits. Jonathan, the male love interest who isn't a prince, is also a bandit. The bandits are like Robin Hood. They steal from the queen to feed the poor. Snow White herself is an independent liberal socialist in this version, and with the bandits leads a revolution against the evil queen. Why?
Now, keep in mind, this is a rumor. We cannot confirm this will happen, but let's be honest, it's Disney.
Yeah, given Disney's track record, they're totally going to do this.
Well, again, we have to take it with a grain of salt because we do not know. But it doesn't sound too far-fetched for Disney, especially these days.
You think?
There's been a lot of controversy around Rachel Zegler and her comments, and lately she's been doing certain things like posting videos onto her thing, blaming men, and wearing shirts out in public that says, "Got no more tears to give," or whatever. Not a good look.
Yes, but revolution against the evil queen has already been done, and the dwarves being bandits has already been done. That was in Mirror Mirror. I don't know if you ever saw that movie, honey, but Mirror Mirror was actually a very cute take on the Snow White tale, where the dwarves were all played by dwarves, and they wore stilts when they went thieving in the woods.
That's actually quite clever.
It was hilarious.
That's actually smart, because then they could get away with things because no one would suspect them because they were tiny.
That was the point.
That's actually pretty cool. I actually would have liked... I think I'll have to see that. Is it good?
It's actually not bad.
Might have to put it on our list, but... Mm-hmm.
And then also Revolution Against the Evil Queen. That was in Snow White and the Huntsman, where Snow White, who never before raised a sword or wore any armor at all, just suddenly tells all the men who are rebelling against the queen, "Come fight with me. Who of you will be my brother?" And they all go, "Yeah!" And suddenly she's in armor and fighting the evil queen. That was really bad.
There's a reason no one talks about that movie.
Clearly, but Ravenna was still awesome.
It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I think Disney has their work cut out for them with this one. This is not a good look. They're not going... If they actually do go through with this or anything like this, it's not going to work out well. Right now, they can't really say anything because of the strikes. So we'll have to see what happens once the strikes die down, or whether they postpone this because of the strikes, etc., etc.
What they need to do is rewrite the whole thing and reshoot the whole thing. And also, get an actress who's actually white.
Or better yet, get an actress who... I know this is a crazy take. Get an actress who's not white, like Rachel Zegler, but have her shut her mouth.
Seriously.
Even that would be a little better.
You seriously have someone who's seriously stuck up and selfish playing your main character. It's not a good look for you, Disney.
What I'll say is, in the words of Rachel Zegler, weird. Very evidently so.
You do a better Rachel Zegler than Rachel Zegler.
Let's not even go there.
Yeah, sorry. Moving on. But speaking of Disney, next up we have Disney!
Shut up and keep bailing out water, Bob!
I seriously love this one.
A group of investors or shareholders of the Walt Disney Company have filed a lawsuit against the Walt Disney Company, Bob Chapek, Bob Iger, Christine McCarthy, Kareem Daniel, Susan Arnold, and other Disney executives for damaging the company.
About time!
Now, this is not the only lawsuit they have against them, but what's funny is this lawsuit and all this stuff going on, what do you think it's about? It's about them moving around money to make it look like Disney Plus was more profitable and also lying about the streaming numbers and manipulating things to make, as I said, to make Disney Plus look like it's doing well when in reality it never has been.
Fudging the numbers, not a good sign.
I find it funny that we always say, oh, they don't give us numbers or whatever, and they can do whatever they want. And people are like, no, Disney's the best. And it's like, here we have proof that that's not the case.
Yeah, Clownfish TV calls those people pixie dusters.
Yeah, that's a good title for them.
Because
this Disney is so good.
They snort the pixie dust. Pixie dusters. It really is the perfect term. Thanks, Clownfish.
Is anybody surprised to see this?
No.
No. We've been saying for ages that Disney wasn't doing so well. They're not going to go under because they have so many assets they could sell off. They will never go under. They're too big to fail.
But will they sell off any of those assets? Because they do like being in possession of all they have.
I could see them selling off some of the 20th Century Fox assets that they overpaid for. They have Bob Iger to thank for that.
True. They should also sell Star Wars back to George Lucas.
I don't know if he'd actually buy them, honey. I think at this point there's been so much damage done to Star Wars in general that it's just never going to go back to the way that it was, and that's okay.
I guess. But it's still a shame.
At this point, honestly, let them have it. I don't care. But you reap what you sow, Disney. You play games, play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Indeed.
Hope you got a bunch more of those bobs in your back pocket, Mickey, because you're going to need them to bail out that water.
I mean, perhaps they do. You never know what's in the other cryo cells.
Huh? You don't see anything.
Disney magic!
Poof! Your wallet's gone.
Moving on. And still in the realm of Disney, next up we have Ahsoka.
Engage spin mode. The Walt Disney Company was putting out some major spin when they announced that their latest Star Wars Disney Plus series brought in 14 million views globally.
Pressing X to doubt. Doubt.
So, keep in mind, they say views. What is a view? It could mean I clicked on it for 2 seconds, decided I didn't want to watch it, and that counted as a view.
Actually, yes, that does count.
Now, Samba TV came out with some numbers. And a lot of people are using that as an example to say that Ahsoka failed, and they're right. However, they're going about it the wrong way. Samba TV only takes data from people who opt into it, and it's only from a very, very small portion of people who consume the product.
Indeed. So in other words, their numbers may be a lot more accurate than Disney's.
They'll be accurate, but only accurate to that small portion.
Perhaps.
So when you're comparing it to the overall, we actually don't have any idea. However, an important thing to take away from this is they had to make it a thing where they usually say, oh, a certain amount of people watched it within the first 4 days. Here they had to do 6 days. Why? Because it didn't even break 1 million until they did that.
Which is really sad.
And that's bad. That's really bad. Yes, it could. There's obviously a chance where the views could have been higher and it might not be as big of an issue. But if the small portion that people who use Samba TV and then where Samba collects the numbers is less than before, it means that at the very least, the people who watch it via Samba TV and all that kind of stuff do not show up to watch this.
Again, quite sad.
So if they didn't show up to watch it, how many can we say in the general majority? We don't know.
Nope, but I'm going to guess quite few.
But Disney is struggling right now, so they basically decided to figure out what they could do here. And they decided, oh, let's just say a number of views and then not give any evidence and not show you, because trust me, bro. And that's it.
Meh.
I mean, I don't buy that. Many people don't buy it. Saying views makes it very clear that it wasn't actual people. I would be curious to know the numbers for the second episode.
Yeah, where are the numbers for the second episode, Disney? You released both episodes at the same time. Where are the numbers for episode 2?
Here's the thing. They would have told us the numbers if they were good.
True.
So I bet that it was a big drop between episodes 1 and episodes 2, and that's why they didn't show that information.
I would not be surprised if that were true, which it probably is.
But yeah, not surprising. And then, of course, the same day, the lawsuit came out about the numbers being faked. So if we needed proof of this, we kind of have it.
Wah, wah. Moving on. And still in the realm of Star Wars, next up we have Liam Neeson.
Stop making garbage fanfiction.
Thank you, Qui-Gon Jinn!
Actor Liam Neeson recently accused the Walt Disney Company and Lucasfilm of diluting the Star Wars band by creating too much content.
Thank you!
Now, keep in mind, this was a thing that I came up with. That's not what he said. But in this scene, I'm making it that he said it. So it's not a true line. But basically, he said something along the lines of how they're diluting it with too much content and that it's making it overly complicated and people can't follow it anymore and devaluing the brand.
He's not wrong.
I really liked Liam Neeson in The Phantom Menace. I think he's one of the best, Jedi mentor figures that we've gotten.
Absolutely. Qui-Gon Jinn is an amazing character.
I wish we could have seen him more. I know they brought him back in Obi-Wan, and they really weren't supposed to do that.
Yeah, he was only supposed to be a forced voice, not a forced ghost.
He's right. There's nothing else to really say. He's right. This is the problem that's facing Disney, is they're diluting their brand, trying to accomplish branching out into multiple markets at the same time. Star Wars is in the theme parks, Disney Plus, movie theaters. That's the problem. They were doing well when they were focused on one area. They're branching out too much, and then they make this content, and it's subpar at best. My dad put it the best. My dad said that he watched Obi-Wan, and he enjoyed it. Why? Because he just wanted to see some laser battles. And guess what? It literally is. He said it was a Star Wars-like show set in a Star Wars-like galaxy. That's not actually Star Wars.
Wow. I must have missed that conversation.
That's what he said. He basically said that it's a universe like Star Wars. So if he wants to see something that's like that, that's fine. But it's not it's not Star Wars in the sense of, well, it fits with the continuity and everything. It doesn't. It's just, this is like Star Wars. It's a show like Star Wars, so you'll watch it. But all they do is bring back characters that we already know and try to use that as a way of marketing it, and it's not working. And the numbers show that. And Liam Neeson sees it. Why can't Disney?
Because Disney is dumb.
That's true.
Heh. Then let's move on. Next up, we have Ms. Marvel.
This is worthless.
Indeed it is.
According to series author Iman Vellani, her upcoming Marvel comic series, Ms. Marvel: The New Mutant, will not only explore the titular heroine's new genetic identity, but also show readers, quote, why she's such a timeless character, end quote.
She's not timeless. I want to laugh.
She's not a timeless character.
She's hardly a character.
Every cover they do, they show her with giant fists. She's Giant Fist Girl.
And also there's that gif you once had of her shouting, "The Avengers!" and a super long neck with giant fists. That was honestly nightmare fuel.
The character could have been done well, but it wasn't. Now, the funniest part about this is all the people online who were screaming and shouting about her being reborn as a mutant, even though they don't actually read her comics. She was always meant to be a mutant, they just couldn't do it at the time, so now they did. She's a mutant, inhuman, whatever.
Even though that's not genetically possible according to the actual canonic lore of Marvel Comics.
Well, they can change the lore whenever they want. So.
Unfortunately.
Now, I think Iman Vellani is a sweetheart. She seems like she really cares about Marvel, she cares about her character and all this kind of stuff. It's not her fault that her character is crap.
That's true. It's the character creator's fault.
I think that I wish that she had gotten a better role that would have given her more time to shine, because she seems like a sweetheart. She hasn't seemed like anything bad. She hasn't badmouthed fans or anything like that. She is the epitome of a Marvel fan. However, I think they're milking that a little too hard, and I'm wondering how the Marvels will turn out with all this.
Probably badly.
Yeah, I don't see the Marvels doing well. I mean, they brought her in for the comics, and that's cool. I guess, probably a dream for her. Mm-hmm. But I hate to break it to you, as nice as I think you are, whatever, your character is not timeless. I'm sorry. It's just not. And it could have been, but not with the people who are writing her. And making her a dream sequence where she's waking up, whatever, that's what they're going to do here. That doesn't make her more timeless. That just makes it a dream sequence.
Yeah. Timeless characters are created through their writing and the passion put into said writing.
Iman Vellani has passion. Unfortunately, it's being channeled in the wrong directions by Disney and Marvel, and it's not going to work out well for her in the end. I would not be surprised if the Marvels is probably the last place we will actually see this character. I don't know. They're trying to get a second season, but it would not surprise me if they quietly swept her under the rug after that.
Yeah, that could happen.
I mean, hey, they took Ironheart off their schedule and Daredevil Born Again, and they're changing all the stuff. It's almost like there's someone who doesn't want to release the Ironheart series, and because it's not good.
Aren't you happy about that?
Well, I happen to know that that's what I've been hearing, is that the shows are not good, and just like Echo, they don't want to release it. But with Ironheart, I don't think they have as much contractual obligations, so we'll have to see if it comes out. But these characters aren't selling, they never have, and they will not be timeless as long as you continue to try to tell us that they are. Timeless characters are important, and they're timeless because they don't have to constantly be... no one has to constantly remind us that they are timeless. They just are.
True. Moving on. And lastly, we have She-Hulk.
A new rumor suggests that once the ongoing YGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes eventually come to an end, the Disney Plus series She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, will begin production on a second season.
Joy.
Now, again, this is again from My Time to Shine Hello. Whether it's true or not, don't know. If it is going to be a thing, that would be hilarious because everyone will make fun of it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody tries to say it's the most comic accurate and whatever, and I have something to say about that. Yes, She-Hulk does a lot of the things that she does in the comics, but her personality is not She-Hulk.
Not at all. The personality in this show is trash, written by people who are trash.
Written by wine moms who are single and can't get a man because they get drunk and run around like crazy people. If they at all behave like Jennifer does in the show, then yes, that's your problem.
And not to mention, they openly admitted they don't know how to write law.
Yeah.
That was the stupidest thing you could have said.
This show was a train wreck. Everybody tries to hold it up and say, look how good it is, but it's never accomplished anything. Nobody talks about it anymore except to say, oh, it was really good, and then it get dunked on. It's not a good show. It will make for great content if it does get renewed, because it will be some kind of... we'll all get to make fun of it again. But regardless, we'll have to see if it actually does happen, but it would not surprise me at this point. I think that it would be the wrong choice, but let's Disney Marvel gonna Disney Marvel. What do you do?
Meh. Suffer?
I mean, I'm not gonna watch it.
Nor am I. I don't care.
I'll probably poke fun at it and make memes, but that's what I've been doing. I find it much easier to make memes and poke fun at something than get all upset about it. There's no reason to get upset about it. Just laugh and enjoy the ride.
That's true. Moving on. And with that being our last client of the day, it is time for us to reveal the diagnosis of the week.
And we have an interesting diagnosis for you today.
Do tell.
So the diagnosis for this week is antisocial personality disorder.
Please explain.
So antisocial personality disorder is a pervasive pattern where a person is antisocial and disregards the consequences or whatever and rights of others. They go out of their way to do things for themselves, and they don't feel remorse or guilt. We see this a lot in Hollywood. These people go out of their way to make what they want. These shows become their therapy sessions, their self-insert, their this, their that. And they don't care about the fans or anybody else. They have to make something for them, and that's the only reason they do it. And then when you dare to criticize it, they attack back. Why? Because it's an extension of who they are. And they are so lost, they don't even realize it. And if they do realize it, they do nothing about it. So we get more of the same. And we'll continue to see this pattern in Hollywood until something is done to change it. But that's why I feel this is a great diagnosis for this week.
I agree.
And now we move on to the remedy of the week.
And this week we are sending you to Dead Man Walking 55, who's a pretty chill dude, does streams on anything he wants, and is just all around a good guy.
Yeah, he streams Fortnite. He does some like chill streams. He also does things about sports and other things like that. He's getting up there in subscribers, not that high yet, but he's close to getting to the monetization threshold, and he's a good guy. Always been nice to my wife and I, and so we wanted to give him a shout out. Hopefully we can bump him over into monetization territory, because he deserves it.
Indeed. So grab your popcorn, head on over there, and let him know that Gothic Therapy referred you.
Indeed. But that is all we have for this week. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and also make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe with notifications on so you do not miss your weekly therapy session.
Or you will be charged. But remember, when you do subscribe, your first session is free, so smash those buttons like they're bad kitties. And do consider joining us at the Dusk, Midnight, or Dawn level. We would appreciate it quite a lot. You can also find links to all of our socials in the description below, as well as links to our merch store and our Discord server known as The Clinic. Be sure to check them out. And if you don't want to stick with us here on YouTube, you can also find us on Rumble and Odyssey.
But yeah, that's all we have for this week, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Gothic Therapy, out.